Moving on, we have our second keynote on leveraging artificial intelligence in telemedicine, presented by Dr. Tamara Sunbul, Medical Director of Clinical Informatics, Johns Hopkins Aramco Healthcare. Over to you, Dr. Tamara. The stage is all yours.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and desktop. There we go. File. Oops, start presentation. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about artificial intelligence and telehealth, because this is the next big thing that is coming for telehealth. So a little bit about us. We're Johns Hopkins Aramco Healthcare, which is a joint venture between Johns Hopkins and Saudi Aramco. We have 2 hospitals with 400 total beds, and we are the first in the kingdom to implement Epic. We have 4,000 employees with 40 plus languages spoken, and we care for 151,000 people. So, is AI the new operating system for healthcare? For that, we have to look at the why. So AI in the medical field relies on analysis and interpretation of huge amounts of data sets in order to help caregivers make better decisions, manage patient data and information effectively, create more personalized plans from complex data sets, and discover new drugs. It performs tasks in less times than humans and a fraction of the cost. And in terms of value, one of the world's highest growth industries, the AI sector was valued at 600 million in 2014. And we're expecting it to reach 150 billion by 2026. And growth in the AI health market by itself reached 6.6 billion in 2021. That's a 40% compounded annual growth rate. So what are the technologies powering telehealth AI? In healthcare? So we have machine learning, we have rule-based expert systems, cognitive computer models, and natural language processing. And the rules go beyond the basic rules of if, this, then, and why, and it becomes really much more complex. So I'm just going to go through a few use cases for AI to efficiently diagnose and reduce error. Here, I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but Babylon, it takes it even beyond just the regular, it started off as just a platform to connect people with the right physician or clinician, and now has gone and transitioned into more preventative care and looking at those care gaps and looking at prevention before intervention. So trying to figure out what the patient needs in anticipation before he needs it. So it's transformed from what it initially started off with. Mental health is very, very important. And Spring Health has also created this automated AI tool that helps connect patients depending on their symptomology with the right type of caregiver, depending on the mental disease. A lot of actually companies have transitioned during COVID-19 to provide the service to their patients. This is one of my favorites. It's OneDrop. OneDrop, what it does, it actually collects data from different devices, whether it's weight scales or glucometers or blood pressure, and it combines them. And amongst the things that it can actually do is, we're looking at the historical data and what the person's been patterns. It can actually predict glucose readings and predict health outcomes using the data. Also, AI transforms from the regular healthcare, but even into physical therapy and rehabilitation with care plans. And this KSA Health has actually an automated AI tool that actually follows up patients and assesses their progression with physical therapy. Digital twin is the next big thing coming to healthcare, and we hear about it in the industries and how you're having those digital, you have a plant and you have a digital plant, right? And in that digital plant, you apply different things that you can do and see what outcome you will get, so you don't really do it in the real plant unless you're really sure. So same thing happening for healthcare, in which we create a digital twin out of your body, and basically we apply and we apply all these hypotheses on it just to detect outcomes. And then once we kind of know what is the best outcome, then we apply that in reality. And I guess this is probably the next biggest thing that is coming to healthcare, which is this personalized medicine. And with that, everybody's going to be asking, it's not replacing doctors, but it's asking, what does the algorithm say? So what is the best outcome that we can perceive based on your digital twin? Also looking through patient flow optimization, also using telehealth for that. And there are a lot of there's a lot of AI tools that help optimize the patient flow through the hospitals, look at all those bottlenecks to optimally make sure that the patient receives the care the right time, the right place, and right context. DeepMind is Google's contribution to AI in healthcare, and this has this one alerts doctors when patients are in trouble. So it actually proactively reviews the data, deep dives into the patient's information, and kind of pulls those data out. So again, prevention before intervention. It's looking at things that are happening and predicting them before they actually happen in a way to kind of improve outcomes. So moving forward, to develop an AI strategy, I mean, you've heard all these nice things and everybody wants to go, okay, I want to go back, I want to implement some of these things. So how do we start that? So first of all, we need to start with a proper business strategy. So to get the most out of the AI, you have to tie it to your current strategy, your big picture strategic goals of your organization. Then you're going to have to start to prioritize and come up with your AI priorities. So working with all your business owners and your clinicians to identify how AI can help you achieve those business strategy goals that you put forth. Then moving after that into the data strategy, because as we know, AI takes a large amount of data. So, so we have to prioritize which ones we're going to do to start to collect that type of data that we're going to need to power these AI tools. Then we move on to technology issues to identify the technology and infrastructure implications and gaps, and look at the gaps that you have about decisions you've made. Then you're also going to need to look at your skills and capacity. So again, doing a gap analysis, seeing what extra skills and capacity you need. If you want to implement machine learning, you need to have special manpower that is trained for that area. Then you go into the fun part, the implementation, and this is when you start to turn your AI strategy into reality. And then last but not least, and this is holistically going through the thing, is change management issues, because it's an important part of any AI project. Here talking about a little bit about ethical AI and challenging risks and considerations. And we talk here about the risk of embedded inequality. So those of us who have access to these basically tools versus people who don't, and are we giving a better quality of life for those that have access? Is it a threat to life? Again, access to telehealth and to making AI fair, ethical, and transparent. And I'm referencing here an article from Johns Hopkins Medicine back from 2020. And here they're saying, in order to truly gain the most from technological advances, we also need to be aware of their limitation and their potential for abuse. Reflecting on these and how we resolve them might give us an opportunity to better understand human nature as the gap between our intelligence and AI continues to narrow. And thank you very much. And I don't know if we have time for questions, but I'll end here.
Right, Tamara. So we do not have any questions at the moment. However, if there are any questions, we will email those questions to you.
Perfect. Okay, and I'll see you later, everybody, in our panel later today.
And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Tamara, for the insights and valuable knowledge imparted with us today. Your intellect is truly valued.
Thank you for having me.
Health, the beating heart of your everyday. It's in every step of your journey, but no matter where your journey takes you, we are there with you. We collaborate with scientists, researchers, and hospitals to support doctors, surgeons, nurses, and caregivers across the world to give you the best possible solutions to improve your health. Innovation and you, Philips.